We've hit the button and we are on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 arm wrestling podcast in the world. I am your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as always, I am the 2019 third place left arm, 80 to 95 kilos, amateur trophy getter. It is the most sought after trophy in the arm wrestling world. But speaking of trophies and absolute champions, you can see on the screen right now what a guest we have today. Rumour has it he is a world champion powerlifter. If this is true, I'll be getting a bit more into that. He is a state champion. He was almost a national champion. Damn you, Storm Chelino. We'll get stuck into you a bit later on for breaking our Bart's heart. He is a reality TV star and he is the #1 referee going around in the world. He's a Bart breaker. He's a Bart throb. I call him Bartholomew Woodlington. You know him as Bart Wood. Bart, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. That is quite the introduction.
It's always about my introductions, mate. Want to set the mood and just let everyone know it's all about having a bit of fun here on the show. And as always, Bart, when anyone comes on the show, the Aussie Arm Wrestler will always have a beer regardless of the time. So cheers to you, Bart. And what is happening in your world, Bart?
I was trying to get through this rest of this COVID, and hopefully we can get back to some normal life and routine and, get along with the league. I'm just busy right now, enjoying a little slow time of the year for our trade and being able to attend kids' sporting events, be with the family, train. It's a good time of year for me.
At least there are some good positives like that when it comes to this whole ridiculous COVID-19 garbage. That people, like yourself, get to spend a bit more time. You get out of that hustle and bustle, bang, hanging out with your kids. That's pretty cool. Now, I mentioned just before, World Champion Powerlifter. Is this true?
Well, actually, it was in 1998. It was the Junior World Championships for the AAU. That's who ran it. And I was in the junior class, 23-year-olds. And, I did. I won the 198 drug-free powerlifting title.
Oh, and you have to put in drug-free as well. It's a shame as that. So what were your lifts? What were your winning lifts? Ladies and gentlemen, it's another world champion on the show.
Yeah. And it's legit. It's true. I competed for many years in powerlifting, all through the teenage years. And I started, I went as far with it as I thought I could, and I kind of got bored with it and liked arm wrestling more, so started doing that. And plus, once you become a father, that sport takes a lot more time. Oh, I could be a dad and go out in my garage and keep training for for arm wrestling,
Now, just remember, anyone, if Bart is refereeing at your event, he will rip you off the table. Bart will deadlift you off the table. Don't even try and argue with this man. He's a world champion powerlifter. Yeah, but understandably, powerlifting would just absolutely take almost 100% of your time.
Yeah, arm wrestling doesn't take quite as much. So, so I just kind of transitioned into that because I got exposed to arm wrestling my senior year of high school. I was 18 years old. I went to my first tournament, 1993.
Yeah, that's a long time, guys. He's been in the sport just about 30 years now. 30 years. So all those people that jump on the internet and say Bart doesn't know what he's talking about, just understand he's been in it quite a long time. I think Bart just might know a thing or two what's happening at the table, and when he does ref, he gets the best seat in the house. But what people always look over, a lot of new people coming into the sport always see as Big Bad Bart as the referee of the WAL. But Bart, everyone, is a bad man on the table. He is a bad man. He almost won a national championship on the left arm, lost to Storm Chelino. How much do you hate Storm Chelino?
Oh, Storm is he's a great dude. Yeah, I kind of had a bad feeling when I seen Storm walk in that day. Everybody, he was on a tear back then, just like he is still today. I was only able to sneak one win on Storm ever when he was newer into the sport, But then he came back that same day and beat me again, knocked me out of the tournament, national championships, AAA. Yeah, he's tough.
Man, that was amazing. And even you've competed at Arnold's, you've won state championships, even as late as last year. You won the Keystone championships there. Yeah. Yep.
It was fun to get back into the sport after Game of Arms. After Game of Arms, I ended up doing a super match with a good friend of mine, Otis Tucanovich, and I tore my bicep during that. And so it was a long recovery back, and it just took a long time. And actually, this lapse in reffing to give me a lot of time to get back and be competitive to a certain degree in the sport again.
So are we going back into it? Are we still...
I love to compete. That's what we all are.
So you still pulling, still want to pursue that during these times, even though refereeing does take up a lot of your time?
Oh yeah, I'm always gonna have my foot in the sandbox, so to speak. It's just what we love to do, man. I love competing. I've competed since I was a young guy in powerlifting, and then it's what we like to do. It gives you goals for training and stuff. I love being a part of the sport, at any level. Because, hey, there's one nice thing with this sport. You can continue to always get better and learn, and you can do it while you're old. So,
absolutely. I started at 33, about two or 3 years ago now. And, the famous Todd Hutchings story, started at 35 and things like that. So, yeah, definitely as far the time catches up to us, we've all found a sport we can compete in. Now, you did mention, you reality TV star, hey, the game of Arms. Recently watched that again. A few funny things come up. First of all, I want to ask, who came up with the team names?
Oh, they did. AMC did. AMC.
Oh, so for those who haven't seen it, Bart was a part of the Erie Wrecking Crew. That's something you say to your toddler. I'm sure when your kids, were like 4 or 5 years old, you'd chase around and go, here comes the Erie Wrecking Crew. Some of the names, man. I did always have a giggle, so I thought once Bart gets on there, he's a straight shooter. He will tell me exactly where these names come from. And just looking at all those awkward conversations you have, like you guys all get together and it's like, hi, Dave. You have a big match this week. Like, you guys don't talk like that. What was it? What was it like?
It was very cheesy. It's very very funny looking back at some of those moments.
It was. What was it like filming it?
Oh, filming it was fun, man. You packed your bags. They picked you up. They treated you like a star. You get to the airport, you don't do anything except walk through. They have everything checked in for you. Get off the plane, you picked up in the, nice Suburban. You're treated, awesome. And then competing in that atmosphere was a lot different, though. It was not like anything we ever had, especially besides the cameras, all that does is get you hyped because you think to yourself, man, I really don't want to lose here because this is going to be millions of people seeing this. The pressure goes through the roof, with that. But come on, I'm not pulling in the snow in a turn.
They were on
I mean, like they had us in the warehouse. Yeah, so that part was pretty crazy. We were all afraid we were going to get hurt, tear something. It was cold in some of those filming sites.
Yeah, well, there was one because there was a vegan arm wrestler, so you went to like a butcher's freezer, you know, 2 teams pulled in a butcher's freezer, and it's like, guys, it's great that it's a reality show, but you have no idea arm wrestlers are trying to break this stigma that we just meet up in dungeons and things like that and pull, and it was hilarious. There's one hilarious moment. Did you get a lot of flack? Did a lot of mates and your family tease you? There's a big close up and you're getting ready. It's one of the first episodes and you're getting ready to pull the great Alan Fisher. And then suddenly you're tearing up and you're spitting all over the joint saying that you need the big win. Did you look back at that and go, not my best?
Well, you know what was really bad about that is here's the background and here's why it happened. So they had me out back before the match, and I had lost my mom not too long, about like a year before that, and I also lost a buddy of mine from work. You know, we lost him, and he was a good friend. Him and his wife would travel around to the big tournaments with us, even though he didn't pull. He was just my boy, you know. Lost him. And then they even went way back to talking about John Hynoski's dad and how all these people that you lost, how proud they would be to see you here today, and trying to get you real emotional and fired up out back. And they hit a nerve saying some stuff and got me fired up and emotional. And then they got you hyped up. Like I came out like a crazed animal back there.
Oh, yeah.
How that happened. It wasn't just like, crying like that. That's what they do. They really dig deep to get stuff out of you, man. And it was an emotional part for that, because normally I'm not going to start crying and think about negative stuff like that before a match ever, right?
Yeah.
That's why that happened.
Well, that's why that was one question I really wanted to ask, because like when people watch, or people compete in arm wrestling, like we just know we're going into a match, so we're gonna get fired up. We're gonna jack ourselves up. They've gone about it the wrong way, I reckon. If they're gonna hit you up about and for someone that's lost a parent before, the last thing I want to be thinking about before I come to the table is people that I've lost. So that's really interesting, because I don't mention that in the story. They're just like, oh, Bart's passionate about his family and things like that. And then all of a sudden you're spitting and crying. So that's some really interesting stuff.
You know how bad I got ragged for that? I got torched for it so much to the point where you just laugh at it now, you know, and you don't even explain yourself to people about it. You're like, yes, they caught some great moments, man. Terrible. Or the close-up, they would do the super slow close-ups. It shows your face shaking.
Yeah.
And it's just like you look like went all over the place. You're like, come on, man. Thanks. That's real sharp. That looks good.
It was that was hilarious when they kept doing those zoom ins. I was a bit like, oh, okay, yeah. I thought that was that was hilarious. And then you started the famous chant. The famous chant in the final with Travis Bajan and Dave Chafee. You did the whole two champs chant.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, though, they both were verge of like doing serious damage to themselves, like bad. Those two dudes are thoroughbreds, and they went at it so many times, and neither one of them, it wasn't going to end without someone getting hurt. You know, it really wasn't. It was nasty. That's why I started doing that. And plus, coming into this, those are two of my really, really good friends. You know, I mean, that wasn't made up from the show. Those are my boys.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you don't want to see that your friends get hurt, you know.
No.
And plus, if you're friends with those dudes, you're always going to hear the worst side of it. You got to hear the loser.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see the one win, talk to you, then you got to hear the crap from the loser. So I didn't want to hear no losing stuff. Hey, 2 champs, let's roll. Let's get out of here with that. The worst is ever refereeing those two.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Terrible. Terrible.
Oh, those referees on the show. Hopefully they've found new jobs. That was I hope they've gone to the dole payments and just gone, you know what? Hey guys, I need a new job because refereeing isn't for me. Were they actual arm wrestling referees from like local tournaments? Like, did you know who those guys were?
Oh, they were guys from our arm wrestling clubs, but they usually didn't ref. You know, they're just pullers that maybe helped ref once before, twice before. You know what I mean?
Oh man, they were shocking. They were terrible. They were terrible. If you guys are fans of the show, come and drop in the comments because 2013 Game of Arms, you guys were shocking, and you had the number one ref on the show with you. And if Bart says it's shocking, then 100% it is shocking from there. That was hilarious. And that brings me into the referee side of Bart Wood. What at the moment you are probably more famous for? When did the refereeing start for you? When did you realise this is what I'm going to do?
Well, I learned I had to rep my first match when I was in 1995. I was injured. So John Heinowski was holding a tournament, so he said, hey, if you can't pull it, you can help me by ref it. So, you know, he taught me how to rep then, and I would did it once in a while. But after Game of Arms, when the WAL was starting, I could feel that bicep that ended up blowing up on me. I knew it was something. It wasn't getting better. I had an MRI, and it didn't show the tear, but I knew something wasn't right. It just hurt. The pain wouldn't go away, and I couldn't bite in my hand, you know, for the setup. And I just knew how big our practices were blowing up. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to compete on this arm that long, but I have a chance to be a part of the league and be a referee and still be a part of the sport. And it's still competitive with these guys up there left and right, you know, with setups and stuff like that. And I thought as long as I could see and be coherent and stuff, I can rep. I could be a part of a sport I love, because you can only be competitive so long. So I just thought, I'm gonna go after that endeavor. Yeah. And then my arm ended up blowing up anyway, and I couldn't pull for 3 years after that, you know. So it kind of worked out. It worked out.
You heard it there first, ladies and gentlemen. Bart Wood can see into the future. If you feel you have a small injury, go chat to Bart, and he will tell you if it'll blow up or not. So then you've become the main guy. You are the number one ref for the WAL. How did that partnership start?
The very first, there was a tournament that I was helping Travis do. It was a big series, and it all was meeting up in Columbus. We're going to be, and he was doing some stuff with Steve Kaplan, and that they turned that tournament into, well, Steve did. He turned that tournament into the very first wall tournament of Columbus, which was really cool. And I was on staff, you know, for reffing that. And then after that, the next talk for the tournaments, they decided to give me more time reffing, you know, and they narrowed some of the reps down, and then asked me to be the head ref.
Yeah.
And kind of there. And then we had, you know, our staff always together for all the tournaments and stuff like that.
So was it a package deal? Did you only agree to be head ref if your wife got to be a ref as well?
No. I was reffing WAL first without her. And funny. It's just a package deal. It actually, though, I had to make up the staff, and she was reffing and helping me ref local events for years and knew what she was doing. And then I got tired of every time after a tournament saying, "Well, you missed that elbow. You missed that elbow." I said, well, if you see every foul, then you should be up here doing it. Then come on, let's go. Get down the rough. So she worked with Charles Fisk times, and we because she rep with him, before the pass, so it kind of just worked out.
So how do they go? You guys do a WAL event, and sometimes you don't have the best day on the table reffing. How does that go at the dinner table when you're both trying to critique each other but yet still love each other?
That's why back then I just gen ref with Charles.
No, but that's awesome. That's awesome to know. Everyone, go back and watch it. So refereeing, of course, is one of the hardest jobs in the world. And Bart's almost up there. When you're a referee, you are always under the gun. It doesn't matter who wins. Someone is coming after you in a negative way. Now, first of all, before you start having a dig at Bart and Jen, realise Jen's been doing this for years as well, guys. So it's not just because it's Bart's wife. Bart just said he got to build the team and he got someone he could trust and that has been reffing for years. So go easy on the refs, everyone. Give them a break. They're actually doing a pretty good job.
I tell you what, the best thing, if someone really thinks a ref sucks, they should go try reffing a little bit and see how difficult it can be. It's very difficult, and you kind of get a new respect for it. And also, I preach this all the time. If you want to get technical, when you are setting a guy up, when you get to ref, you get to learn so much from all the guys you're reffing. So much, even when you're setting their hands and feeling where they're applying pressure and having success on certain people. You get all the answers to the test up there. So you get to learn a lot.
Yeah, beautiful. That's everyone's homework. Everyone that watches this podcast, that is your homework. You are not allowed to badmouth a ref until you've jumped on the table yourself and given it a go. Then try have someone have pot shots at your wife as well. So we'll start now. Hashtag leave the refs alone. Leave them alone. But people don't. People don't leave you alone. They get stuck into your part. So who would be the most annoying person to ref?
I don't want to hurt any people's feelings.
Come on, Bart. Let's break some hearts here. You're not hurting. They're all adults. They're all big boys.
Let's just say, whatever guy you think is the hardest one to set up and one of the craftiest dudes out there, I have to give that to Devin. Devin split the table, and he just loves to push it to the absolute limit, but it's part of his strategy. That dude's brilliant and he's great at doing it. And if he's trying to wear me down, and when people engage with Devin at the table, every time they do it, it's going right up here. He feels right what they're doing. He's reading it. He's knowing right where he's going to anchor a little bit more pressure. He's slick. He's smart. So whenever you go against a guy that's cerebral in his setup, you have to try to be as sharp as him to, counter what he's doing up there. And he's great he wants to distract you while he's doing it. Starts really saying things that aren't even trying to draw attention. He's awesome at it. He's good. And I tell you what an angle, what a strategy. He's tough.
Oh, absolutely. But do you ever just sit there and look at the WAL card and just go, oh,
You better
Devin's on
believe it.
again.
Are you kidding me? As the night's going on, and you're like, oh, they're not that bad. They just want to be a little high. They're not going to really get after it. We'll be able to get them going. And then I look and I'm like, oh, and Devin, and trust me, it's not just Devin. I just like picking on Devin. But you are going to be in for it. You just know. You take a deep breath, you go, oh, well, here we go. You got to be ready to go to battle with them.
Oh, that's the best. That's hilarious. So then on the other side of the scale...
It's like if someone drew his name in the bracket to pull him. You're like, really?
So then on the other side of the scale, you're earning your money when you've got a ref Devin. Do you have someone on the other side that say having a super match at WAL and you're like, oh yes, beautiful, easy to set up, easy, ready, go? Is there anyone that you just love reffing?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's so funny, but Michael Todd puts his hand right up there straight and wants to be flat palm to palm and just squeeze. Michael Todd's pretty easy to set up, I'd say.
Wow, very, very surprising. Yeah, that's interesting.
Now, once we say go, that's when all his difficulty comes in.
Yeah, that's when he turns into the most hated man in the world, but we will touch on that in a moment. Do you have a favourite and a worst match that you refed? Have you ever have you got a match that just stands out and go, I was on point that game?
Terrible when Jerry and Michael, and he was slipping through, the crap was pulling apart. We couldn't get into the hole. There was so much sweat. It was literally, when you go to tighten, it was just dripping wet. And that match was, I wish we had a couple redos on that, And that's the thing too. I mean, people in every sport, there's gonna be some mistakes and stuff. And now, thank God, just like the other sports are evolving, I should say, with the replays and stuff. And, we're getting there too, because you miss things, and no one's perfect. People make mistakes, and you are crucified for it if you do.
Yeah. You are. Well, you've got a platform here, Bart. Let's set the record straight, because Jerry was on the show during the week, and he reckons it should have been a restart, and he reckons he should have won. I believe they were his words. Don't quote me too much on it, but you can go into the archives on the Aussie Arm Wrestler channel. Now, you were there. You're the one that had to deal with it. Set the record straight. Why was it left the way it was?
I honestly, God, I've had so many that I'd have to. I don't want to say anything and have to be held accountable for it. Right? I'm watching that match again, but hey, I'm sure Jerry had a very valid point. I'm sure he did. We had a bad malfunction. It's terrible. It was
rare. It was rare. I've never seen a strap come
loose.
It was just rare. I wouldn't have known what to do either.
I mean, you know what I should have had if we had another strap on hand, a brand new one right there, whip out, which we always will. That could have helped.
How did it feel when this, it's arguably one of the most controversial finishes to a match ever, but how did it feel? So you're there at the monitor, you're doing what the refs do best. You're there at the monitor watching the replay, and then Devin just pops up over your shoulder, a guy that's got nothing to do with the match, and he's telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing. I think you were there with Neil, and you're there, right, let's have a look, rewind it, let's check the tape. And then you got the big guy just over there giving it these ones to you. What was that like?
Frustrating. Very. You want to turn around and, let them, because of the heat of the moment stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of deep breaths. There's a lot of self-control, up there in that position. You got it. It's it is so competitive in every aspect, man. That's the worst feeling when I hate when it's not definitive. The last thing I ever want to do is have to dictate the outcome because of the rules and stuff. I want to see I pin the guy, beat him. That's what I want to see. It's just like everybody else does. I hate that when we have the controversy. I want, especially if it's a major match like that, it's got to be nice and definitive. That's the worst scenario.
Absolutely. I am going to take that small clip of footage and I'm sending it to every single professional sport in the world, because referees always love having an impact on the match, and you just want to let the pullers do what they do best. All the other referees should take a glimpse of that. I watch the NBA and I watch the NFL, and the referees just love having their little, impact on the game. Take a leaf from Bart Wood's book.
I tell you what, all I want to do, negotiate a fair start, say go, pin. That's it. I want no other impact on it, But I mean, there are fouls and stuff that happen, but goal as a head ref. I mean, that's your goal. That's your job. Make sure you get that fair start, which is not easy to do either. Imagine this. Imagine when you're trying to get two guys set, and the whole world and all the networks, all the people viewing, they want to see a match. They do not want to see these gentlemen foul out and never even see the match, right? So you have to negotiate a fair start and harness these two like Clydesdale horses. Yeah. Right? That part's difficult because, I mean, hey, imagine if there was no cameras and no TV or anything like that, just like in tournament play, it's okay, foul, next, tough. You know what I mean? That's how it is. But in a league like a WAL set, we want to see the matches. You want to see matches. And, we do, some guys do get fouled out, but it's hard to harness two guys that they have all the cameras on them, all that pressure, they're raring to go. They're raring. So the amount of force, even though they're not pulling each other off center, but you should just feel the tension when they close that hand and go. Wow. Tell you what, it's pretty easy to feel when someone makes a early move or anything because just all that torque going in there.
Oh, it'd be unbelievable. Ned, you are the head ref in WAL. Do you have any other roles in WAL? Are you involved anywhere else with the league, or do you just turn up and ref?
Oh no, I just help out with just some consulting things here and there,
Beautiful. And do we reckon we'll get a 600 series in 2021?
I missed that last part. Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Do you reckon we'll get a 600 series in 2021?
That's the goal. That's the goal. That's what they're working on. I'm just guessing, and I have no reason. I mean, I have no hard proof, but I wouldn't be surprised if it had to start a little later than the April we normally do. But I don't know. It just seems like things are going better this year, and everyone's adapting to what's going on and stuff, and learning how to work around the virus more, with everything. So I'm optimistic. I can't wait to get back.
Oh, man, just
I mean, it's getting, and we're all getting anxious. Everyone is getting anxious. I even, see myself now commenting on stuff and getting. You're bored. Everyone's antsy, man. They want to see. Everyone's talking about this and what if this and what if that and what if this. They want to see it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's why all this internet heat is just exploding a bit more. You know, you see like everyone's talking Levan versus Monster Michael Todd, but the comments are just, people are just attacking each other over who they think will win. You know, all this recent stuff with RVJ and Ryan Bowen. I think guys are just bored and ready. They just need to pull. But yeah, but it's highly entertaining as a fan.
And I tell you what, too, here's one thing that a lot of us I needed to consider too. A lot of these guys haven't been able to really show how much better they've gotten during this COVID time. I mean, even me personally, just being able to train consistently, you know, you make gains. So these guys that are really dedicated, that are really putting forth the effort and stuff, there's going to be some big difference. I think you're going to see in a lot of these guys. You'll see who took advantage of all this time.
Oh, 100%. And the elites are only going to get stronger if they've gone about it the right way. That's for sure. All that built up anger when we're allowed out and free. At the moment here in Melbourne, we're in the middle of a 5-day lockdown. We've been caged up again. So I know we're all itching to get back. We want to fly overseas. And just as fans, we want to see the WAL back on TV. It's getting ridiculous, Bart. I think you should run for president and sort all of this out now.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait.
And as always, Bart, I always love playing a game when people come onto the show. What's going to happen is I'm going to give you the name of 3 pullers. What you have to do with these 3 pullers is decide which one you're going to pin, which one you're going to lose to, and which one you are telling that they are banned from the WAL in 2021.
Oh.
Okay. 3 names.
My.
First name, light heavyweight champion Sam Harris.
Give me the first 2 choices. So you're allowed to
pin. You've got to pin one and you've got to lose to one.
Okay, do I get to hear the other people?
Yeah, I'm going to give you all 3 names first and then you decide. Yeah, so we've got light heavyweight champion Sam Harris, the man who nominated for you to come on the show, Big Dave Chaffee, and the Black Scorpion herself, Michelle Dugan.
I'm killing him. We're going to have to kick Dave out of the league.
I can't. Oh, a no-brainer. Is that because he's gone over to top 8? Is that why?
Yeah, because my man, he's pulling for a PAL now, So he gets to take a crack at all those guys. So that was an easy one. Thanks, buddy. Dave hooked me up. That was perfect.
Damn.
And then I'm gonna lose to Michelle, the Black Scorpion, and I'm gonna have to go super early and cheat him a lot in the setup and beat Sam Harris.
So we've got a damn it. I didn't think that Dave Chaffee went through. I thought, you guys are good friends. Damn it. I should have thrown in someone else. But there it is. I gave Bart the easiest one here. Bart Wood is now your light heavyweight hammer holder. He is being a gentleman and losing gracefully to the Black Scorpion, Michelle Dugan. And he is got a bit of taste in his mouth because Dave doesn't pull for WAL. And he says, "You're not coming back, Dave. You're not coming back, young fella." Bart has said so. Damn it. Didn't think that one through. You got one up on me, Bart. Damn you. Alrighty. What's going to happen now before we wrap it all up, because I appreciate your time, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I just need some quick fire answers. No thinking, just answer straight away. Are you ready?
All right. Yeah.
Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Super matches.
Ooh.
Not for me competing to watch.
Yeah.
To watch. Competing, I love competing in tournaments.
Okay, but you prefer watching super matches. I think that's all about probably 80. The majority, I reckon, 80% are a bit like that because it's longer to pull. Are you a fan of the King's move?
No.
It's all right, everyone. I jump on. Bar Michael Todd has said no, so it's okay. Do you prefer to ref or pull?
That's a tough one. That's a tough because I love reffing really tough matches. It's challenging. I love being in the mix with those guys, but I love pulling. So I don't know. I think that's a hard one. That's a tough one to answer.
Oh, we might come back to that one. I might let you off the hook with that one.
I'm gonna have to say pulling. Reffing. Love the reffing because when I leave, I'm not as sore. Don't have to ice up.
Smart answer. Do you feel like just uppercutting pullers when they start yelling at your wife during matches? Disputing the decisions. Do you just want to uppercut them because that's your wife?
Oh, just because of what they're saying. It doesn't matter who's standing there.
Yeah,
it gets annoying. You know what I mean? But they don't know. They don't know.
I'm just waiting one day for Bart to turn up to WAL and he's had a bad day. Someone turns to the down ref and starts arguing. Then bang! Bart just starts filling the arena full of uppercuts saying, talk them all off a bit better. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Will you ever have a WAL super match?
Say that again, please.
Will you ever have a WAL super match?
I imagine not. Just because of conflict of interest, maybe. But I mean, who knows? I could maybe an exhibition one or something. You know what I mean? If the people would want to see it, and they would have fun with it. But that's not. That's not up to me.
Let's start hashtagging or doing whatever. Let's spread the word. I definitely want to see Bart Wood in a super match. If it's an exhibition, if you're going to bring in a celebrity, let Bart handle them. Let Bart show them how it's all done. Wow. Who cheats the most in a setup? Not the most annoying by talking things like that, but who do you know is fair dinkum just trying to cheat as much as possible?
Oh, that's most everybody. When you're at that WAL, most everybody, man. Every dude that's coming up there, they act like they've never heard the rules, or they act like they're gonna have their weapon like this much bigger than their opponent and allow it. Just they put it posted up there. They all try. Every single one of them.
That's hilarious. Like they've never heard the rules before. That's hilarious. Who do you think in the general population is more hated? Bart Wood making a bad decision or Michael Todd doing a King's move?
I didn't hear the first one. I know Michael Todd's King's move and what?
And Bart Wood making a bad decision. Who do you think would get the most hate?
Boy, that would be a close one. That would be close. I do. If I make any mistake, I am torched on those. And I know, but mine would be short-lived. They'll take Michael Todd's King's move and replay it a gazillion times as rub it in people's face that can't stand it. I think if I made a really bad call, I might get a ton of hate. It would dwindle away. Yeah. Michael Todd's has that's a marathon hate they have towards that move.
Yeah, at the moment you are number 3 on my most hated list. It goes Monster Michael Todd because of the King's move. the stuff that he's been doing, he's getting a lot less hate because he hasn't been competing. But he's number one. Good friend of mine, Ryan Bowen, he's number two as most hated. And Bart Wood making a bad decision. You become my number three most hated person in the arm wrestling world. That's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
Last question. Who is a better ref, you or Jen? Yeah! We'll put that bit on mute. We might do a bit of splicing and edit it so Bart doesn't get in trouble. That is hilarious. But before we finish up, I will get you to nominate someone who you think will have a bit of fun on the show.
Have you had the pleasure of having the Black Scorpion on there yet with you?
No, not yet. Haven't reached out to Michelle. Paul Lynn nominated her early on. Definitely, if you are nominating Michelle, I'll definitely get in contact with her. I think she would be a fantastic guest on the show.
Yeah, I think she'd be great.
And when it comes to the start, if you've watched the videos, if you've watched the podcast, Bart, whenever a match starts, you get the Aussie Arm Wrestlers catchphrase, ready, bang! I need to see Bart Wood's impersonation of it.
I missed part of what you're...
I need to see your impression of my catchphrase. Ready, bang!
Ready, mate?
No, ready, bang.
Bang. Or bait, was it?
No, bang. B-A-N-G.
All right. The echo is so bad on this. Ready, bang!
Yes! That is it. Thank you very much. But, guys, that will wrap it up there because when it comes to referees, I used to be a basketball referee myself, so I could definitely talk about refereeing and arm wrestling all day for Bart. What people don't know is I was almost borderline on harassment trying to get Bart on the show because I'm just a huge fan of what Bart does on and off the table. But from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you coming on the show. And more people just get to see what an actual fun guy you are. You're actually quite funny. You're a real good dude. You're a straight shooter. So hopefully that'll get you a bit less heat on the internet when some more WAL matches come up. Really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate it.
Guys, make sure you do all the subscribing stuff. Go follow Bart on Instagram and all the social medias. Just support all referees in general. Give it a go yourself. Guys, from Bart Wood, from myself, we will see you next time.